And here we go. This is the end of the God-forsaken nightmare, the final stage of Battletoads and Battlemaniacs. You may remember the look of this level from the NES game. It's a repeat of the fucking rat run. I think he looks more like a kangaroo in this case, with a top hat. So, you know he's not someone to fuck with. And it's really simple in idea. Just get down the platforms as fast as possible, spend as much time in free fall as you can, fall through the platforms there, and get to the TNT before the rat does so you can explode him. Dodge the arrows. It's basically 3 repetitions of the same idea, and it adds a couple new obstacles each time. You can kick or punch the rat, it will send him flying, hopefully slows him down by making him jump over the gaps and then rerun the area. It's necessary later on because there's a couple of spots you cannot outrun him on. And, running platforms. Very basic idea. Run like fuck. Nice skeleton in the background, by the way. Or what's left of one. Although, the graphics, the way they're done here, the foreground stuff is an absolute bitch. It becomes very hard in places to see what you're doing. First 2 bits are relatively easy. The third one is evil. Those bubbles will blow you around. Those fireballs, if you get caught in one of them as they explode, will multi-hit you for about half your life bar. Which wouldn't mean anything normally because there's very few things in this level that can actually do damage to you, except you run straight into the final boss from here without a health refill. So yeah. And this is where it starts getting annoying. You need to get down here really quickly. You'll notice the gaps in the freaking wood blocks are hidden by the bricks in the foreground, and you can roughly estimate where they are, but retardedly difficult on the first few goes through, and kind of trance-inducing. I don't actually remember doing half of this, it's just on instinct, and calling up the patterns from deep within my memory when I don't fuck it up like I just did then. And yeah, here's where you absolutely need to beat the shit out of the rat, because he falls faster than you do, and you need to keep flinging him around like a volleyball, or he will beat you to the end and explode you, because he's a fucking rat bastard. Yeah. I'm beginning to think she has a crush on these toads, because seriously, this is not the behaviour of a healthy adult. Admittedly, this is not a healthy adult we're talking about here. It's, in this case, because it's a fucking scientist chicken. The fuck, people? Why do you accept this as normal? It's not. It's an abomination against chicken kind. And yet you did just see a cheap shot attack off the final boss who runs into play and then throws something at you. Really simple pattern here. She spawns at one of 5 points, throws out a skull, of which there are 2 possible ones from each area. If she's up on the top ones, she can throw a skull either at high speed or low speed. If she's down on the bottom, she either throws one straight out at head height or down at an angle. This, ironically, actually has the annoying factor of making the center spawn point the most dangerous for you. Everything else, you either know where it's coming from or you have a fair bit of time to react. You frequently don't have a lot of time if she spawns in the center, and she can throw one low or high at you. And if you pick wrong, you're going to lose a third of your health bar. That's right, you can only take 3 hits from this bitch of a boss. Again, it's not quite rote memorization because it's partially... which ones she goes for are partially randomized. Not so much where she moves to, but the ones she actually swings with. And if she repeatedly spawns in the center and mixes up what she's throwing at you, it can be a real pain in the ass. That said, it is a massively anticlimactic boss battle. Compared to the rest of this fucking game, it's a pushover. It's only... the biggest danger about it is that if you fuck it up a couple of times, you'll have to go through the entire game to get back here. And by the time you get here, you're probably not possessed of your wits. You're a little bit frazzled, a little bit screwed up, a little bit, oh god, why did I do this, Ray, you fucking whore son. And yeah, suicidal hit on the final boss. She speeds up towards the end, and sometimes you need to take that hit to get your own one in. Well, to be fair, you weren't beaten by the scrawny beak, you were beaten by the toads. And I get the distinct impression from looking at that grin on your face you would much rather have been beating them off. And Chicken Fucker here, really shouldn't say that, but shows his true colours, because he's an arsehole. And yeah, actually, when I first saw this upcoming part, I actually thought it was just a sequel hook. You'll understand what I'm on about in a minute. Silas Volkmar, who I don't actually remember, I'm presuming he had something to do with the first game. This is because I have not checked the storyline whatsoever. That's more complicated than I feel like getting involved with. And Christ, I had enough trouble trying to keep the Ninja Gaiden storyline straight. I didn't even do the non-canon games. Great. So after all that, the big bad of a different thing is just going to jump right in on top here. At least I think he's the big bad. Gotta dig that teleporter though. I do not dig the UFO, however. That is the most cliche thing I have seen in a long time. So we're going to chase this thing. And there are actually two slightly different endings to this game, but they both functionally do the same thing. And here you'll see in a second. Mini game. Shoot the, standard pull the trigger when the crosshair's over the target, gets faster with each hit. You'll see me fuck it repeatedly here. Miss, I believe. And yes, sometimes you get it to count ones that it really shouldn't, like then. And that changes the ending text by like 5 words. So it's really not worth doing unless you like aggravation. Sinister Silas, I like that. I like the alliteration there. Yeah, and since we don't have a body, clearly he's not dead yet. In video games, as in comics, somebody is not dead until you have the body, you have desecrated it, and then pissed upon it to make sure they're not just pretending. And that is a shitty fucking ending for the amount of effort I had to put into this bastard of a game. The end, thank fucking Christ, it's over, fuck you all. Good night, go to hell. Whatever.